Hey there, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel. My name is Crafty Kathy, and I'm so happy and thankful that you stopped in to craft and spend a little time with me today. We're going to be looking at the brand new 2024 IOD Holiday Collection, and I made 5 DIYs with it. So let's jump in. Before I get started, I want to show you the entire collection. We're going to start with our transfer books first. This one is called Yuletide, and I want to show you all the different things like as a group here on the back. This is so beautiful. There are so many different things in here. I love the birds. I love the cardinals. There's Santas, there's stockings, there's fairies in there, and even little woodland animals. You can't go wrong with this book, Yuletide. I'm going to go through it just kind of quickly and show you all the beautiful things. These birds totally have my heart. I absolutely love those. And there are 3 different pictures of the birds, 2 large ones and 1 smaller one. The next one is Crimson Velvet, and it is just a traditional, beautiful Christmas, and it reminds me of Crimson Velvet. I mean, that's the perfect name for it. This kitty cat is the cutest thing I've ever seen. It's got books. It has 2 pictures of trees, the stockings. I love the wreath and snow owl. Oh, I'm so in love with owls. It has these beautiful, gorgeous, like older looking candles. I love the antlers. It's just beautiful. There are several reindeer or stags, whatever you want to call them. This bunny is just too cute. And then I like the books stacked on top of each other. And there is a very large Christmas tree. And that's Crimson Velvet. This one is Kitschy Christmas. This is a vintage inspired. Makes me think of like the 50s and 60s. That's kind of when the kitschy was in. That's what they call it, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. But if you remember the way that these, like the little girls here, remember the reindeer that came out, and they are like, a lot of the colors are like a baby blue color and a little green blue color. That's kind of what Kitschy Christmas is. And it's just very vintage. It's very beautiful. This right here, this whole book reminds me of my childhood. The last transfer book is called Tinsel. It is that gilded, golden beautifulness. I just want to let you know that this gold up against black is some of the most beautiful, elegant looks I have ever seen. And we'll just go through really quick so you can see. There's a lot of tags in here. As you see, you could probably use as like on a present. There's beautiful golden angels. My favorite thing in this book is it has 2 full songs. It has, this one here is The First Noel. And the other one is What Child Is This? It has the entire song. Then it has like words, Oh Holy Night, the stars are brightly shining, and it's big words, it's beautiful. There's a lot of different large letters in the back and words that say like all is calm, all is bright. Now let's go into our stamps. This is our first stamp, and it is called Winter Forest. As you see, it's a bunch of Christmas trees. And all of these came with the mask. That way, if you want to put some in front of the others, you have your beautiful mask. The second one is Classical Christmas. Classical Christmas is just really beautiful. It has all of these angelic, just beautiful, like little baby angels. And they are just adorable. They're gorgeous. Now, the next one is Snowflakes, and it's called Vintage Snowflakes. You can use these as like a background, whatever you want to do with those. This one is Frosty's Sweet Shop. It's my favorite of all the stamps. I think it's beautiful. And like I said, every one of these come with the mask. This is the picture of the mask so that you can place things in front and behind if you want. Now we're going to go into the molds. we have several molds. Now we have 6. That's what I'm showing there. The first one here is Autumn Cottage. It's this beautiful pumpkin. And the pumpkin, if you'll look closely, is textured. I'm sorry. I've been fighting a cold this week and I can barely talk. This one is Santa's sleigh. It's got Santa in there, a reindeer, and presents. Gorgeous. This one is Bibelots, is how I say it. It might be Bibelo. I'm not sure. It makes me think of those old-fashioned vintage ornaments that are very bright and just very beautiful and happy. This one is Angelic Tapers. Look how beautiful this is. It's got the angels on the top. This one is Christmas Tapers. It's got a Santa and a snowman, a star, and a snowflake on it. And these kind of represent like an icicle. And the last one here is called Les Cloches. And this one, of course, is 3 different beautiful Christmas cloches. And that definitely will not disappoint. And our very last item is a paint inlay. It's called Gloria. We have 1 paint inlay this year. This one has some really large pictures in there. If you like to do like, large pictures that would go on your wall and such, that's what I like to use them for. And remember, these are kind of backwards or mirrored. When you lay them down, they're very beautiful on any picture. You've got your gorgeous little angels in here. You have doves. This is just kind of like a classical, elegant type Christmas is what it makes me feel like when I look at this. It has so many angels in it, and angels are just such a huge part of Christmas. This is that large Christmas tree I was telling you about. There's actually 2. There's several wreaths in here, and then there's even a beautiful harvest picture on the back with some pumpkins and the word harvest. Now we're going to start our DIYs. I've got these 2 jars that I picked up, or they're canisters, whatever you want to call them, from the thrift store. They were $3. I think these are a perfect color the way that they are, so we're not going to paint them. I'm just going to clean them up. And if you know how I've done my IOD releases in the past, I've always just kind of stuck with one genre. Like today, we're going to be doing the transfers. The next video, we may do the molds or the stamps. It just depends on what mood I'm in. For these 2 canisters, I felt like they were screaming kitschy Christmas to me. So I'm going to go through my book and pick out the pictures that I want to put on here. I settled on the Santa Claus and then one of the beautiful reindeer. There are approximately 4 or 5 maybe reindeer in here and several Santas. So there's so many to pick from. All you do is cut out the picture that you have picked, and you're going to take the backing off of your transfer and use the special little tool that they send you with each one of your transfers, and you just rub it onto your canister. And when I'm rubbing over the transfer, I personally like to hold the edge of the carrier sheet up. I feel that it makes it go on so much easier. And once you start rubbing this, you can do what's called ride the wave, which just kind of means, it's so hard to explain it, but if you've put on a transfer before, you know what I mean. You just kind of ride the wave, and once you get it going, it literally comes off just about by itself. But I don't want to tell you that happens on every single transfer and make you think that you're doing something wrong. You literally just use the tool that they send you and rub. Then you're going to burnish it, which just means to use that carrier sheet, rub over the top of it, and it's just ensuring that you've got a really good adhesion. In my opinion, using transfers on your projects is a very easy, almost foolproof way to make anything gorgeous, make it look professional, and make it look beautiful. You can never go wrong with your transfers. And by the way, every single thing that you see me use in this video, you can get from Lori over at Milton's Daughter. I'll leave her information to her store down below. Like I said, she sells all these products. She sells all the paint that I use, even down to the pent art products that you see me use, like the antiquing paste and that type thing. That's where I get all of my items from, is from Lori at Milton's Daughter. Here I felt that Santa Claus needed some candy around him, because more than likely these are going to be used as candy jars in my own personal home. So I wanted to put some of these little pieces of candy, just one underneath them and one kind of over the top, just to add a little playful notion to it. And this is just a little sample of how you can take a thrift store container and turn it into something so gorgeous with your transfers.
Christmas is just around the corner, coming up just around the bend. Holiday couldn't be here sooner.
The next one that we are going to use is going to be the Yuletide. I couldn't resist these birds. I had to use it. And like I said, it has two large pictures of these birds and one smaller one. And it also has the cardinals. It has the woodland animals. This one has everything. And I'm so in love with these birds. This weekend, I went into the Dollar General store and all their summer stuff was half off. I got this tray for like $2.50, and I'm not going to paint it. It's like a brownish color. I can use this as a picture to hang on the wall or a tray, but I'm going to show you how you can take a little tray like this one and turn it into something so gorgeous. I'm just going to cut my birds out. We're going to do these the exact same way we did the others. We're going to take off that backer sheet, lay it down, and rub it with our tool. It seems like every year the holidays always sneak up on us, but I get so excited when it comes time for the IOD holiday release. I use these to make decor, ornaments. I put them on gift tags. There is so much value packed in each one of these transfer books. And right now is the perfect time if you guys have ever wanted to try IOD, and you will see that their quality with their transfers is just like chef's kiss. It couldn't be any better. And like I said, I was planning on using this as either like to hang on the wall or a tray, whatever mood I'm in. And I grabbed some of my Pent Art antique wax that I get from Milton's Daughter in a gold color and just kind of went around the edges. I hope you like this. Our next project is going to be one that I found at Goodwill for like $3. And when I flipped it over, I realized that it was from Crate and Barrel. Now, when I bought this piece, I knew that it was really good quality, but I didn't even notice that that was the maker. So I'm just going to clean it up really good because it's been sitting outside on my patio with some of my plants underneath it. And we're going to decorate it and get it ready for Christmas. I knew exactly the transfer that I wanted to use in this. It's from Crimson Velvet. And it has to be something that is very nice and just kind of speaks, you know, good old-fashioned Christmas, but kind of uppity. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm from Tennessee, so come on. My version of uppity might not be what yours is, but Crate and Barrel is definitely not somewhere that I go and shop at often, unless I find it on a Goodwill shelf like this. But anywho, we're going to lay this gorgeous stag down on the bottom, and we're going to do him exactly the way that we've done the others. I knew that he was going to go on this just like a charm because the texture of this was almost like it's just a really nice pottery, you could tell. And we're just going to rub over it, revealing this gorgeous deer on the bottom. I decided to use the larger of the two stags that's in the crimson velvet, and I love the stars that's all around him. They give it a very regal feel, if you ask me. So I decided to put one on each side, and it didn't take but 2 seconds to get each one of those on there. But guys, this was beautiful the way it was with absolutely nothing on it. But you have to agree that this just takes it to a whole nother level. And this is going to be so beautiful sitting on my coffee table with like a beautiful poinsettia or some kind of Christmas flower underneath. I hope you like this one.
Well, I'm all for Christmas, all the happy smiles and the wishes. And I want it all, from the lights to the mistletoe.
Every time the season changes, one of my favorite things to do, and actually one of the simplest, it makes such a big statement, is to grab some of my battery operated candles. I have two of these little skinny ones. I think I got these off of Amazon, and they're in my Amazon store as always if you want some of them. I'm going to put some of these beautiful woodland little animals from Yuletide on those. It seems like every year I just can't get away from it. I always say that I'm going to decorate different, and I'm like, okay, this year I'm going to do neutral colors. I never do. I always do red and green, and there's always a lot of little critters all over my living room because you guys know that I have chickens and cats and dogs, and I'm just a country bumpkin, and I love my animals, guys, and I can't help it. But I think this little hedgehog and this little bunny rabbit are going to be so perfect on these. Now, I did notice I get these battery operated candles quite often. These were a little cheaper than the ones that I normally get. And I did notice that the transfer went on fine, don't get me wrong, but it is wax. And you know that when you're trying to get a transfer on a waxy surface, it may take a little bit of work. But I realized the easiest way to get these on was just to bear down a little bit more than what I normally do and almost push it into the wax. Now, once this transfer grabs a hold of that surface, there's no problem. And since this was such a waxy surface that was a little bit different than the other candles that I've used, instead of burnishing it with that carrier sheet, I used my finger and just went a little slower than normal because I felt like with the way that wax felt, I just knew that carrier sheet may possibly grab back onto that transfer, and I didn't want to mess it up at all. Now, for the past probably 3 or 4 years, I have used these transfers on the candles for every single IOD release. This is the very first time that I ever had a little bit of issue, and I know that it was because of the way that the candles felt. They were different. You never have to worry about the quality of the IOD transfers in the least. Since I used a smaller transfer than the size of the candle, a lot of times I'll make it almost take up the whole front of the candle, but this one was a little bit smaller. I'm going to use this gorgeous velvet ribbon that I picked up off of Amazon last Christmas, and I'm just going to put like a band of it around the top and a band around the bottom because I think that this is going to give it that gorgeous rustic woodland touch that these candles need. I'm not going to try to overcomplicate it by putting a little bow or anything of the sort. I just think that this is all it needs, and this turned out to be actually probably my favorite thing. I'm going to love the beautiful glow that this gives, and I hope you like it.
When the bell on the door jingled once more, and then time almost came to a stop, but somehow I knew, and maybe so did you, that everything would change.
Our last one is going to be very simple and easy. Another thing that I change for every season is some of my little risers. This is a homemade riser I made a few years ago, and I was having a little bit of trouble getting this decoupage paper off, so I just took it outside and hit it with my sander. And I wanted the background for this to be black. Now I do need to throw in there, I feel that with my transfers, it's just like when you're using decoupage paper. If you use a lighter background, such as a white or a cream color, it almost makes it pop more, makes it more vibrant. However, I wanted this one to be darker, so I'm using black velvet, my favorite black color from DIY Paint, the best paint in the world in my opinion. And what I'm going to do is just add a tiny bit here. It doesn't take much of this paint, and I'm only going over one coat. And I added just a little bit of water because my paint is getting a little old. And all you have to do is just add a little water to it to reactivate it and get it flowing a little bit better. After I let the black velvet dry, I grabbed some Big Top, which is a sealer. The DIY paint has got to be sealed simply because it is clay-based paint and it will reactivate with the water. You don't want that to happen, and you do want to seal it before you put your transfers down. My 16-year-old daughter was about to leave and ran out to my craft studio and was knocking on the door for me, and I must have turned my camera off, but for whatever reason, I did not record myself putting this large, beautiful Christmas tree on my riser. Now this book, Crimson Velvet, has the large Christmas tree, and then it has a smaller version that would be perfect to use on ornaments. And the Crimson Velvet is the one that has that beautiful little kitty cat with the red velvet bow around its neck. It is so adorable. But anyways, this turned out so beautiful. When I knew that I needed to change my riser, there was no question what I wanted on it besides this large Christmas tree. And you can see why I picked that darker color. It's kind of like a moody Christmas tree, if you want to call it that. It's really pretty. I like the dark colors, and it's going to look so gorgeous in my living room. I just want to thank you guys so much for stopping in and crafting and just having a little chat with me today. I'm so glad that every single one of y'all came my way, whatever it was that brought you to my channel, whether you're a regular subscriber or this is your first time ever coming here. I'm so glad you're here. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would love for you to hit that little red subscribe button and become a part of our family. We always have room for more, and we would love to have you. And if you did enjoy this video, please give me a big thumbs up because it really helps out my channel. And I wish that you would leave me a comment to let me know which of these was your favorite and if you're planning on getting any of the IOD products. Don't forget that you can get every single product that you saw in this video from my buddy Lori over at www.miltonsdaughter.com. I'll leave her information down below so she's easy to find. And I can promise you, if you ever get a chance to shop or talk to Miss Lori from Milton's Daughter, you will never shop anywhere else. She is so amazing. And I'll be seeing you guys back here next time, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Hey, and did you know that you can click on my face right here if you're on a phone or a tablet, and it will automatically subscribe you to my channel? You sure can, and I would love it if you would do that. Also, you can just click on the video here, and it will take you there in just a second. I love you guys, and I will see you next time.